Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm doing a collab with Miss Rachel from Shimmers and Silver. We collabed in the past on our favorite spring palettes and now we decided to torture ourselves and do a, if we could only keep 10 palettes in our collection, what would it be? I'm not sure why we're doing this to ourselves, but we are obviously up for a good challenge. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup. So if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I'd love to have you here. But with that being said, let's get into this video. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm a little distressed. Okay, this video was really hard to put together. I took hours to pick my 10. Like I kept going back and forth, switching things out. I had it all laid out on my floor in here and I was like, do I have everything I need to complete the kind of looks that I like to do? And I was like, why am I being so dramatic and like overdoing it and overthinking it? But I was trying to approach this as though like really this would be the only 10 I had. And do I have everything I need? That's how I try to put my like palettes together. And even Rachel was like, this is so hard. And I was like, I know. Why did we do this to ourselves? But anyways, you guys definitely need to check out Rachel. She is so sweet. She has like the most kindest, coziest, inviting energy and personality. Like someone you just want to hang out, have a cup of tea with, chill with, and she would just make you feel so relaxed. And she is a crazy lover of eyeshadow palettes like me. She loves a lot of color. She loves creating a lot of looks. Definitely check her out. I will link her video of her picking her 10, so definitely check that out, as well as her channel and her Instagram. Just give her some love. And if you go over there from here, let her know you came from my channel. I would really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get into these 10 palettes. So how I broke this down was making sure I had things to create nudie looks, cool tone looks, warm tone looks, that I had stuff for color, stuff for intense sparkly shimmers, because I also looked at it as though I didn't have any of my singles as well in my collection. Like this is the only shadows I could use. So I was like, every now and then I like to do nudie looks, and I like to do, you know, some toned down muted looks. So I need a good neutral palette. And I feel like this is kind of cheating because this is a big palette, but this is from Blend Bunny. This is the Dollhouse palette. I've, you know, done reviews. I've used this on my channel, I'm sure more than once. And this is like the perfect nudie palette. It has some muted colors in here, but overall it's on the nude side. It has a little bit of warm tones. I feel like it leans a little bit more cool tone, but I was like, this would cover all the nudie shades that I could possibly need, because when I do nudes, I typically go towards the cool tone end. I think it just works better with my skin tone. I'm kind of like reddish pinkish on my undertones, so these colors work really well with me. And because it's a bigger palette, I have a lot of options, and Blend Bunny just does these beautiful like monochromatic rows, so it's just easy to like do a quick monochromatic look where you can mix it up. There's lighter shimmers, you got some good like beigey tones. This would just satisfy that nudie need in me, even though I don't always wear nudes, but I feel like you need a palette that's like grounded like this, that is like an essential. Like if you just don't want to do a lot, or you want to like tone down a colorful look, you have a nudie option. So I was like, I need this in my life. And then another palette, which is probably my most used palette in my collection, and I've talked about this so many times on my channel. I'm sure you guys would probably be sick of hearing me say this, but the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I don't know what this palette has over me. Like the hold is intense, and this one has more nudie shades, but this also has a lot of nudie warm tone shades and a lot of shades that aren't within the Dollhouse palette. So I was like, that's perfect. It also has like my grungy green mattes in here, like my olives, and it has some like depth. It has some oranges. You know, if I'm feeling like a sunsetty kind of look, I can do that with this. And then it has these beautiful like goldy tones. Like there are some repetitive shades in here, but I didn't pick a lot of palettes that had these kind of mattes in it. And I was like, you know what, this would fill a void of needing some warm tone nudie shades, some orange tones, some brownie tones. So I was like, I need to have this. And it's my most used palette for a reason. So I feel like that covers my nudie shades. And then I was like, well, I need like pastels, right? Because I like pastels. I like mixing them with darker tones, using them to blend out the edges of deeper shades, having some like pastel-y pops. And at first I was gonna do the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette, but then I was like, you know what? I think I love this one even more. So it's the Delicious Delights palette from Cosmic Brushes. I was like, oh my God, I think this is it. It has pastel-y tones. Pastels in here are excellent, but it also includes some beautiful like shifty shades, some beautiful metallics, a gorgeous like iridescent inner corner, a beautiful matte white, because I always need a matte white in my collection. They're great for like inner corner highlights, brow bone highlights, adding some contrast in the eyes, lightening shades up. So it's like, this is perfect. And it does have a little bit of depth, but these shades up here are so beautiful. And I was like, I feel like this would satisfy my pastel needs. And I do have a few other palettes that have a little bit of pastels mixed in. So it's like, this is gorgeous. I love it. One of my favorites from Cosmic Brushes. And then I was like, okay, if I have, you know, light pastel mattes, I do also want some more pastel-y shimmers to use as inner corner highlights, as like brightening shades on the lid. So I was like, I think this would be a good option to give me beautiful, high impact, sparkly, lighter metallics. So I was like, you know what? The Seahorse palette from Adept Cosmetics, which came out this year, it has so many pastel-y shimmers that are super foiled, intense. Some are a little bit more flaky and sparkly, some are more creamy, some are more satiny and smooth. And I was like, these are beautiful light tones. I have some lighter, you know, blue, some lighter lavenders, a little bit of green, a little bit of peachiness. And I was like, this would be perfect to pair with my darker mattes, my mid-tones, or like any palettes that are lacking lighter shimmers. This would be a perfect go-to, and I think they're stunning. And then I was like, okay, well, I need other options in my collection. I'm a color lover, so I'm gonna need some good amount of palettes with a lot of color. So I, of course, included the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette, which is one of my most favorite palettes from Blend Bunny. It might actually be #1 at this point, but this was where the love started. There's neons, there's some lighter like pastel-y shades, you have a lot of depth, and you have mid-tones. And I was like, I could create so many beautiful, colorful looks with it. Yet again, the monochromatic rose, easy to think of something to put together. Beautiful metallics in here. And, you know, this one's like lacking the lighter metallics, which I could then bring in the Seahorse palette. You see where I'm going with this? Everything kind of works together within my pick of 10. And then your girl was like, she needs another colorful palette. One is not enough. So I was going back and forth between all my rainbow palettes, and I was like, you know what? I think this is the one. Ever since I picked this up, I've been obsessed with it, and I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do, but it's the Rick and Morty palette from Glam Light. This is so colorful and beautiful, and it has so many options in here, greens and blues and purples and oranges. It has some lighter shimmers to work with. We got some like mid-tones and depth and some really smoky color shades. And I was like, you know what? These even have different undertones than some of the Surge shades. Like, I'm sure there's similarities amongst them, but like this one has like some more like tealy blues. This one has more kind of like muted cool tone blues. I feel like the greens in here are more olivey. We got some more brighter greens. Like, I just felt like these would fulfill my color needs because I have some different undertones to work with in both. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna add this to the group, and it's so good. I don't know what it is. Like, this definitely has a hold over me, and I've used it a lot. Like, I really, really like the formula in here, and it might be one of my most favorite Glam Light palettes at this point. Was not expecting that. And then I was thinking to myself, I need one more all shimmer palette that has some mid-tones and darker shades that are like shifty and really sparkly to pair with a lot of these palettes and mattes. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with this one right here, the Unearthly Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 palette. This actually ranked #1 when I did a video ranking all my all shimmer palettes. So you know I love this one, and it has some lighter metallics, but there is some more like mid-tones and like deeper metallics. There's some yellows and oranges and purples, even some like kind of grungy brown shades. We got the greens and blues. So it's like, yeah, this gives me some darker shimmers, to go with my palettes. They're extra beautiful and shifty and sparkly as well. So it's like this would also fill a void of needing like some more special kind of shimmers. So the last three that I picked are ones that I just would be so sad to not have them. They don't necessarily fit a like set function within my like makeup collection, but they're just ones that I couldn't live without. I would be devastated if they were gone. So the first one is the Adept Cosmetics Inspired Palette. This has a hold over me as well, and I was like, you know what? I need more greens in my life, because green is like my favorite color to wear in my eyes, probably the color I wear the most. So to have a like really intense, shifty palette with greens and all these shifty kind of green, like multi-chromes, and then have these like green mattes with a little bit of a grungy brown and yellow, I was like, I would get so much use out of this. And it is limited edition, so not to have it again, I would be like without. And they did actually restock this, and it's already sold out, because something is so special about the formula in here. It's like rich and buttery and extra foiled, and Adept already has amazing creamy foiled metallics in all their palettes, but there was something extra special about these shimmers. Like, they're just so rich and intense and smooth and pretty and shifty, and just, oh, look at that. It's captured my heart. And then to have like a lot of shifty greens in here made me really happy. Then the next two palettes, which ended up becoming my two most favorite palettes from this specific brand. Like, they came into my collection swinging and saying, I'm that shiz. Okay, I'm gonna be the best thing you ever got from this brand. I mean, I'm sure they could top it because they're such a good brand. But as of right now, these are my two favorites from Oden's Eye. And I was like, I would be so sad without these. They're limited edition. I could never get them again. I would be absolutely devastated. These are the best Christmas palettes I have ever purchased. Nothing has topped this so far. So the Christmas Eve palette has beautiful cool tones. There's a little bit of warmth popped in, but overall it's blue, cool, some grays. We got a little bit of brown, but this is so stunning with these like striking, shifty metallics that are creamy and sparkly, and would just add to any look, especially any cool tone looks that I want to do. And I love this sage shade that they popped in there too. It's just so pretty. It's so dreamy. Like, I don't know how they created something so beautiful, but they did. As well as the Merry Christmas palette, which has a lot more warmth to it. But look at these warm shades. They're so delectable. It makes me happy. Like, I'm acting over the top, but I mean it when I'm saying how much I love this. Like, these are so good. Look at the warm tones, a little bit of grunge, a little bit of red. We got some gold, we got sparkle. We have this beautiful limey shifty shade, and I love a limey metallic in the inner corner. This pastel right here is excellent. It also can be an inner corner highlight, and just, this is just beautiful. So that was the 10 palettes that I went with, and I'm still questioning myself, but I know for sure these would cover everything I need to my pastels, neons, deepening shades, color, nudes, extra sparkly, shifty shimmer. So I would be all set with these. So I'm pretty proud of myself. It was hard, but I was able to do it. Now, I would prefer not to only have 10 palettes and keep my entire collection, but if this is all I could go with, I think I would overall be a happy camper. Anyways, now it's time for you guys to go check out Rachel's video and see what her 10 are. I'm sure she has some really good ones. I'm sure I would be like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that one? That was a good choice. So I cannot wait to see her 10 palettes. I'm sure they're gonna be really good. But like I said, I'll link her video below on her channel and her Instagram so you guys can go and check her out. But you guys now need to let me know in the comments below, what would be the 10 palettes you would pick, or were you like surprised by my picks or not? I would just love to hear from all of y'all. And if you are new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I'd love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all these palettes linked so you can check them out for yourself. I'll link any videos that I did using any of these palettes if you want to see them in action, or a review. I will have my makeup linked. Like I said, I did film a video putting this look together, so that video will be linked. and all the details. I will have my contact and my social media platforms linked as well. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate all of y'all, and I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.